Carousel of Life, Day 21, Nightmare. A Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction based on the Adrinette April 2019 daily prompts. If you missed any of the previous chapters, check the description box for links or click on the card in the upper right corner for the playlist. Now let's take a ride on the Carousel of Life. The Miraculouses beeped, and Cat Noir caught his partner's hand as she turned to go. "Couldn't we spend the evening together, milady?" He'd asked a million times already, and he knew to expect a refusal, but he couldn't resist trying. She looked at him appraisingly before her lip curled in a gentle smirk. "Meet me on the roof of Madame Giry's in 15 minutes. With those words, she repelled into the horizon, leaving Cat Noir dumbfounded. When had the no turned into yes? After giving Plag barely more than 5 minutes to scarf down his snack, Cat Noir was on the roof of the discreet ballet supply shop, pacing anxiously. That wasn't a joke or a prank, right? Ladybug really wanted to spend time with him? Part of him was certain she wouldn't show. He'd go back home with his tail under his legs, feeling foolish for believing her. This would be like Glaciator all over again, except worse because he had reason to get his hopes up. Then again, when had she ever lied to him? Cat Noir's worries were alleviated when he heard the familiar zip of her yo-yo being dispatched, followed by a flash of red as it wrapped around a chimney. His stomach did a somersault, anticipating her arrival. "Milady!" he cried as she alighted nearby, retracting her yo-yo and returning it to her belt in one deft movement. "You came!" "Of course, Kitty. I told you to meet me here, didn't I? Why wouldn't I come?" "I just can't believe you're actually agreeing to spend time with me." Cat Noir's cheeks flooded with warmth. "Wait, that is what's happening, right? You didn't come here to tell me that we shouldn't hang out because it's dangerous and unnecessary and all that, right?" "Silly Kitty." Ladybug stepped up to him and poked his nose, smiling softly. "You worry too much." "I mean, can you blame me? How long have you been telling me no, LB?" he murmured, captivated by her eyes. "Maybe I decided it was time to say yes." Her face was mere inches from his. When had she gotten so close? "You see, Minu, I realized something." She stroked his jawline with her thumb. "We've been through so much together, and you're the one who's always been by my side. You're the only one who truly understands me. It's been you all along." Cat Noir's lips parted in surprise. What was she leading up to? The movement of her fingers on his jaw distracted him from coming up with a response. "I'm sorry it's taken me so long to realize I'm in love with you." "You love me?" Cat Noir asked breathlessly. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. "Yes, Kitty, I love you." Before Cat Noir could be puzzled about the meaning of her words, she closed the distance between them, pressing her lips to his. He closed his eyes, instinctively wrapping his arms around her waist, losing himself in the kiss. "Wait. No. No, 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 no! Marinette!" He broke away, gasping in terror. "Ladybug, no, I can't do this." She looked up at him in confusion, deep blue eyes tinged with sadness. "Why not, chaton? Haven't you always wanted this?" "Yes, but no, I can't. We can't. I'm sorry, I have a girlfriend." What had he done? Cat Noir put a hand over his mouth in horror as the repercussions of his thoughtless action washed over him. He wished he could erase the ghost of Ladybug's lips that he could still feel and taste. He walked to the opposite edge of the roof, heart racing in panic. "No, no, 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 no! What have I done? I knew my feelings for Ladybug were trouble. I knew it was a mistake. I should have waited. I should have—" "But, Kitty!" Ladybug had followed him. Her hand was on his arm, gently turning him around. She was wearing that same confused, sad expression, her lips turned in a pout. "I am your girlfriend." "What?" Adrian sat bolt upright, the "what?" still ringing in his ears. Was his dream that realistic, or had he said it out loud? Plag was still sleeping on his bedside table, so he must not have said anything. He clutched his chest, his heart still beating rapidly. So he hadn't kissed Ladybug. He hadn't made that grave mistake. He gulped down breaths as if he'd been drowning, feeling more relieved than he ever had in his life. What in the world? Why that dream? Stupid subconscious? He whipped out his phone to check the time. 2:17 a.m. He wanted to talk to Marinette. He wanted to see her. Anything to make him forget Ladybug confessing to him, Ladybug's lips on his own. As much as he hated the idea of that happening now, he couldn't deny that he had enjoyed it, and he was desperate to erase the palpable memory of that. Surely Marinette wouldn't be awake at this time, though, and he didn't want to wake her. Then again, he reasoned, I'm willing to bet she's a heavy sleeper. It wouldn't hurt to text her, and if she doesn't reply, so be it. He tapped out a simple, Marinette, and sent it. 10 seconds later, his phone chimed with a response. Hey Adrian, what are you doing up? Gratefulness flooded Adrian as he curled under his covers with the phone, typing a response. I woke up because of a nightmare. I hope I didn't wake you up. Did I? No, I was working on a sewing project. At this time? Okay, I'd say something about staying up so late on a school night, but I'm actually super relieved that you're awake. It was that bad? What was it about? It was disturbing. You okay? Kind of. Not really. I mean, I feel better now that I'm talking to you. I mean, I'm fine. I just feel like scum. Scum? Why? Adrian sighed. He wanted to come clean and tell Marinette exactly what he dreamed about. If she didn't want to date him anymore, he'd just have to deal with it. He couldn't bear the guilt. But this wasn't something he wanted to talk about through text messages. This might sound crazy, but you live a block away, so could you come over? Maybe? I kind of want to tell you about it. Okay, but are you sure? Won't you get in trouble? I'm sure we'll be caught on the security cameras. It's okay. Natalie only checks the footage if there's an incident. If you're really okay with it, I'll let you in the front gate in 10 minutes. Is that enough time? Okay, be there in 10 minutes. Adrian rolled out of bed and threw on a sweatshirt, then prodded Plag awake. Are you crazy, kid? Plag whined, yawning. It's still dark. What time is it? Sorry, Plag. You can sleep in my hood if you want. Marinette's coming over, so I'm going outside. At this time? What are you, Romeo and Juliet? Adrian rolled his eyes, but Plag complied and dove into his hood. A few minutes later, Adrian let Marinette in through the hidden utility door at the front gate. She was wearing a chunky sweater and a scarf, her hair tied up in a messy bun. He saw a stray piece of thread in her bangs and reached to pluck it out. Thanks for coming. You okay? She looked up at him in concern, the way the moonlight glinted off her blue eyes reminding him of the way Ladybug had looked at him in the dream. No! He forced a smile. I'm great, now that you're here. He pulled her into a hug and kissed her forehead. This felt right. He sighed. There's a garden area around the back that my mom used to love. Want to see it? It's a nice place to sit and talk, if it's not too cold for you. The weather's perfect. Lead the way. The garden was overgrown with various trees and plants. Hawthorn, crabapple, climbing roses, bluebells, lavender, and more. Like an English garden, a few stone benches set along the path. Adrian led Marinette to one and held out a hand, inviting her to take a seat. This is really pretty, Marinette observed as she took in her surroundings. I can see why your mom liked it. Adrienne smiled, settling down beside her. I haven't really come out here since she disappeared. I thought you'd like it, though. I do. She turned to him. So, you wanted to tell me about your nightmare? Yeah, Adrienne sighed. He twisted his miraculous ring nervously and ran a hand through his hair. It was about that girl I was in love with. He pointedly used the past tense. Oh? Marinette looked surprised, but she nodded for him to go on. She confessed to me and I kissed her. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, it was a dream, so, dream logic. I'd pined after her for so long. I guess my subconscious came up with the scenario. I never would have done that in real life. I would have told her no. Adrienne burned with shame. He couldn't even look at Marinette, forcing the words out of his mouth as if he were subjecting himself to a firing squad. I feel disgusting. I had to tell you. If you want to break up, I understand. He felt Marinette's fingers on his chin, and she turned his face toward her. She was smiling faintly in an obvious effort to set him at ease, but it seemed strained. Adrienne, it means a lot to me that you're telling me this. Really. He returned her gaze forlornly, expecting her to say, but... This was it. They had hardly started dating and he'd already ruined it. She was going to break up with him. She looked so beautiful in her slightly tousled state, her hair rimmed with moonlight, and he couldn't believe that she wasn't angry right now. What an amazing girl. How could he betray her? Stupid subconscious. Stupid Ladybug. Stupid Adrienne ruining your chances with this awesome girl. It was just a dream, Marinette shrugged. You have nothing to feel guilty about. Adrienne recalled how the sensation of Ladybug's lips made him feel. I have everything to feel guilty about, he thought. But if she was forgiving him, he'd spare her the details and just take it. It was a nightmare, not a dream, he protested. I was horrified. I'm sorry. Marinette looked away, still wearing the same strained smile. It's okay, you couldn't help it. Marinette. Yes? May I kiss you? Marinette nodded. He kissed her slowly, one hand tentatively finding her waist. Why did her lips feel like ladybugs? Maybe because Marinette was the only girl he'd ever kissed while conscious. The kiss with Ladybug wasn't real. Those were Marinette's lips, he remembered, even subconsciously. He deepened the kiss, trying to put Ladybug out of his mind, trying to erase the vestiges of the dream with something real. He felt guilty using Marinette in this way, but he couldn't live with the memory of Ladybug echoing in his mind. That would make him feel even worse toward her. Either way, wasn't he being terribly unfair to her? Marinette's thumb brushed his cheekbone, then her fingers teased his hair. Are you sure you're not mad? Adrienne asked softly, breaking the kiss. I'm not mad. She kissed his cheek. The sad note in her eyes bothered Adrienne. Can you tell me about her? The question caught him by surprise. What do you mean? The girl you love. What is she like? Adrienne pursed his lips and looked away. He didn't want to talk about Ladybug. She's really smart and always willing to help people. He peeked at Marinette's reaction. She was nodding, hiding her feelings behind the slight smile that Adrienne was coming to dislike because he knew it meant that she wasn't happy. She always knows the right thing to say and do, and she stands up for what she believes, even if the people around her don't agree. I really admire that about her. She sounds like a great person. Adrienne smiled. She can be a bit of a spaz sometimes, but I think it's cute. Marinette's lips trembled despite her efforts to keep smiling. She has these adorable freckles that you can't see unless you're close enough to kiss her. The smile faded into a pout that Marinette probably didn't realize she was making. Her parents owned the best bakery in Paris. Marinette's eyes widened. Huh? Adrienne grinned and tapped Marinette's nose. What, does she sound like someone you know? Marinette pouted intentionally this time. Stop playing with me. I really wanted to know about her. Adrienne chuckled, covering how bad he felt. Don't think about her, okay? I'm not, and I'm so mad at my subconscious right now. I'd be horrified if she confessed to me for real. You're the one I care about. Please don't stress yourself out about this. You're sweet, Adrienne. Thank you. Marinette looked away, still seeming sad. Adrienne frowned. What's wrong? I don't know, I get the feeling that I'm forcing you into this when your heart isn't ready yet. Nah, that was my father. He joked lightly. But that aside, you're not forcing me into anything. I already told you, Marinette, I really like you. Really? Yes, of course. Why would I lie? I don't know, I just feel bad, like maybe I'll let you down. Marinette shrugged and suppressed a yawn. Sorry. Adrienne pulled her into a hug. You'd never let me down. He kissed the top of her head. I'm serious. When I don't see you, I get major withdrawal. Please stop worrying. Marinette pouted. Okay, I trust you. Good. Anyway, you're tired. Don't you think it's time for this princess to go to bed? Marinette giggled. Only if you're tired. I could stay longer if you want. You know I'd love that. He squeezed her, wishing he could hold her like this all night, yet knowing it would be wiser to part ways and go to bed. But you're going to be a zombie tomorrow if you don't go home and sleep. Please tell me you're done with the sewing project for the night. Well, I was going to work on it for another hour or so. Marinette, no. Okay, fine. I'll go to sleep, but only because you asked me to. That's a good princess. Adrienne grinned, resting his chin on her head. He held the hug for a few more seconds before reluctantly getting to his feet and reaching out to help her up. Her slender fingers felt like precious treasure in his. I love your hands, he confessed, earning a blush that he could barely make out in the glow of the garden lights. They walked together to the front gate, and Adrienne saw her off at the utility door. Good night, Adrienne. She stood on tiptoes to kiss his cheek, and as she was moving away, Adrienne stole a butterfly kiss on her lips. Don't be sad, my princess. He smoothed her bangs and traced her cheek. I'm not sad, Marinette responded, her smile belying the hint of melancholy he could see in her eyes. She took his hand from her cheek and held it for a few seconds, then placed it at his side and stepped away. I'll see you in a few hours. Sleep well, Marinette. Text me when you get back. Adrienne waved, regretting to see her go. He stood in the doorway until she rounded the corner and disappeared. Sighing, he turned back inside and made his way to his room, trying not to step too loudly. Her text came as he slid under the covers. Safely home. Sweet dreams, princess. Thanks for coming. I love you, he typed, but deleted it. He hadn't earned the right to say it yet. Adrienne closed his eyes with a smile, setting the phone down by his pillow. Even though he had somehow slipped into calling her princess again, she didn't seem to think anything of it. Guess Plag was right. People are blind. As he drifted back to sleep, hugging a pillow, images of Marinette danced behind his eyelids. Her smooth lips, her sparkling eyes, her cheeks that always seemed to be tinged pink. That brave smile she wore even when she didn't feel like smiling. He wanted to erase that sadness in her eyes. He wanted to be over Ladybug now and be the great boyfriend Marinette deserved. He loved her carefree smile, the one she had when she made a shamelessly bad pun, or when she was about to pummel him in video games. She should smile like that more. Marinette, Adrienne murmured, squeezing the pillow tighter. I'll be a better boyfriend, I promise. This time, he dreamed about sun, freckles, and plucking stray threads out of Marinette's hair. Thank you for listening to Chapter 21 of Carousel of Life. I hope you liked it. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, or leave a thumbs up to show your support. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for future updates to this story. Until next time!